Okay, well, an official welcome to you to this 1 hour webinar with Euan Jupp. So,
Ish.
and
That roughly it.
ish,
Yeah.
ish, and Kev Webster. They've called it the inner pivot, and I keep getting mixed up and calling it the internal pivot, and I don't think it really matters, does it? But the inner pivot that transforms every business. So, just in case you don't know who these two are, and I'm guessing because you're here, you do. They're both coaches, they're both hypnotherapists, and they both are in the business of helping coaches, healers, counselors, hypnotherapists grow their businesses. And that's what we're going to be up to in Spain later in the year, in April. They'll probably touch on that a little bit later. I don't know if you're doing a Jet2 commercial again or not. I look forward to seeing what occurs this time. So yeah, I'm just going to hand it over to you, Joanne and Kev, and yeah, look forward to
Brilliant.
hearing what you've got to share with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Excited for this. Excited. There are a couple of people still unmuted, so you might want to just mute them for a second. Sheila, just avoid the extraneous noise. Thanks everyone for being on this call. It is tea time in the UK. I know it's a huge sacrifice, tea time to be here. And maybe you've had a busy day today. I don't know. I don't know what you're carrying with you right now. But I thought it would be a good thing to do just before we go into the flow. It's just to get grounded. That means just to center ourselves, to try and dispense with any stress, anxieties we might be feeling that we brought here. We all carry something from time to time, don't we? And just get into the zone. It's a place to be receptive, to believe that some sort of wisdom will speak to you individually this evening. Whatever you need to get out of it, you will. There's nothing prescriptive here. You know, me and Kevin not laying down orders that you must do this. We're just feeling our way through from our experience and trusting the voice within you will say something that's useful for you out of these sessions. So if it's okay with you, I'd just like you to close your eyes now. We're not going to sleep. We're just going to go within. So if you're happy to do that, just to close your eyes. And as you do that, just allow yourself to breathe in a way that allows you to switch off what's going on outside. As you do that, you become aware of your breathing. The sort of externals fall away. So just establish a balanced pattern of in and out. And just become aware of that cycle of breathing. That breath out, just taking away, as it was, like a river into the ocean, just washing away anything that's clinging from today that might be negative, that might be limiting, that might be you just trying to overthink what this is all about. Just let it go. Just let it go. Don't offer any resistance. That's right. That's the good place to be. And as you keep listening to my voice and breathing, becoming aware of your attention going inward now, nothing really matters for the next 45, 50 minutes. This is about you, your space, and what wisdom wants to speak to you, what spirit has for you that can help you in this phase of your life. And it won't be in what's said, it'll be in what's felt this evening. You'll feel something. When you feel that, you'll know it's wisdom for you. And right now, I just want you to picture in your hands different bags, like shopping bags, carrying different things in your left arm, in your right arm. And in those bags, different things. Maybe you're stressed about something. Maybe there's a relational issue. Maybe you're confused about the current direction in life right now. Whatever it is, it's in those bags. Give it a name, see it in those bags on your arms. And I just want you now, as an act of trust, just to let those bags down from your left hand and your right hand. And as you do that, you'll begin to notice a lightening of spirit as you just let those things fall away. Superfluous, overactive thinking, whatever it is. As your arms fall, just allow yourself to feel that lightness in your spirit, to feel your feet on the floor. Whatever room sensations they are, they just all help for you to tap into that inner wisdom, to listen to that inner voice in this session. Distractions removed. When you feel those bags just hitting the ground and that sort of inner jump within you, just breathe that in, what that feels like, that energy. And know that there's a new channel opened up for you this evening, that you can receive divine wisdom, infinite potential, whatever it is you feel it to be, to flow through you on this call. Be receptive. There's nothing to judge. There's nothing to analyze, weigh up, reason, pros and cons. It's just an open channel of divine wisdom that just wants to communicate with you this evening. Just a few more seconds. Just feel into that. And when you're ready, just breathe out any remaining tension. Open your eyes with an expectancy that there is something here for you this evening that you're going to find. Feeling okay? Good. I feel grounded, safe, my spirit's open. Awesome. Kev.
Thanks, Euan. That was wonderful. I just needed that, actually. So, before we get into anything, I want to kind of gently set that tone of our time together. We all know that in business, we require skills and strategies and marketing knowledge. We can't deny that we have to have certain skills, and we use the intellect for those skills, like if we're setting up an autoresponder for our email list. We're not relying on inspiration to teach us how to use those practical tools, because those practical tools have very specific rules, and we just need to follow those rules, and they all have their place. But the thing is, most people already know a lot. A lot of people in business, and I'm assuming that people here are in business in some way or other, and we already know an awful lot. So the challenge isn't usually a lack of information. It's more about when the mind gets busy and it gets pressured and we get into overthinking. And that overthinking about maybe something that we need to use our intellect for, then we start to apply that same rule, that same way of working for the things that we really need to be quieter for, the creative things that we do. And we work a lot better when we're not overthinking. We work a lot better when we're not trying to find strategies for things that don't need strategies. And we know that the intellect is really, really powerful, incredibly powerful, but it does have its limits. And those limits show up when we're under stress. So alongside our practical side of business, because Euan and I teach practical business skills to people, we have our own club of members who are therapists, and we teach them lots and lots of practical skills. But since we've really gained an understanding of the three principles and a grounding in that, we're now presenting a lot more around really helping people get some clarity and presence, that inner quiet, that effortlessness, that getting rid of that mental noise. Because we know, and I've witnessed it, and Euan has witnessed it since we built Therapy Business Club, that when the mind settles, we become a lot better at decision making. It's a lot simpler. I mean, simplicity is really key for us. And creativity flows like, well, I say it flows. I think this last year and a half, I've gone from flow into overflow when it comes to creativity. Like Euan's holding me back half the time, saying we've got enough products, and it's like, no, I've got this really good idea, and it's already made and it's ready to go in the shop, and he's like, oh no. But he's very patient with me in that sense, but I've really tapped into that, and I'll share a story with you later about really recognizing when we're in that flow, because it does flow freely. And when we're in that state, confidence shows up without even forcing it. We don't have to pretend. Our marketing, our relationships, and I'm not talking just about business. I'm talking about this as a ripple effect across the whole of life. It's just incredible. But certainly I've been feeling a lot lighter, and I've been a lot more effective. And that's what we want for you. We want you to be more effective, more efficient. That's a very business word, isn't it? Efficient. I say to a lot of our students, if I teach you something that makes you more efficient, don't spend the time that you get extra on doing more work. Get out in the countryside. Go and have a hobby. Go and, do something joyful, and fill your life with more joy, because you've gained that extra time. Don't be thinking, I've got to be busy with that extra time, because it's amazing how we replenish our batteries when we feel lighter. And yeah, it's about letting wisdom lead and allowing thought to support it, rather than thought running the show. So, Euan, you've got some examples of that.
Yeah, I've been involved in business probably for 2000, so yeah, over 20 years actually. Been very privileged to sort of have driven a number of seven-figure businesses, so I know what success looks and smells like. But as I look back on those business years, and perhaps this will resonate with you as well, a lot of that has been me feeling very uncomfortable with myself, because of comparisons with other marketers, how other people are doing their business. And coming in, like Kev said, about a year and a half ago, I came into a new understanding of really how life really works on a psychological level, how, we get the experience. I'm not going into that, but I had realized that much of my life, adult life, has been driven by comparisons with other people on a personal level, certainly on a business level. And it's very easy when you're a therapist, or you're a coach, or whatever, even if you're not any of those things, you go online and you see what appears to be successful people doing their thing. Followers, comments, likes, they're knocking it out of the ballpark, they're selling products, they've got a lifestyle, half of which is fake anyway. But there's a projection of something. And it's easy to get into thinking, as I did, and I can do from time to time, that they have got something that I haven't. What is that they have? What is that X factor? And essentially, this is what businesses try to work out. What is the X factor? And so before I really had a shift about a year ago, business was always about comparing what others were doing. Could I up the ante on what they were doing? What's working for them? Let me try this. It's not very creative, is it? It's quite stressful, actually, playing the comparison game, because you can't outbeat someone. They've always got a new idea, or they've always got more money to throw at a budget. And I want it to be sought after. I want it to be in demand. Can anyone sort of resonate with that? You want to be seen and visible. You want people to engage and buy and everything. But it's actually a net zero or zero sum game, really, because you can never get there if your modus operandi is to try and run your life or your business or your practice from a comparison point of view. And this is what I realized I was doing. And I realized that many of us get into this thinking this belief. Belief is just a thought, don't forget, that we have to be like someone. And what is the root of that? The root of that is lack. I lack something. We think that others have something far superior to us. They must have, because they're getting the results, they're getting the clients. I'm not getting whatever it is I want. And I had fallen into that trap, that there must be something lacking, that I need something to supply. Is it more training? Is it more certification? Is it A? Is it A? Is it B, C, D? If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. That lack. But then I had a real shift. And I can't tell you when it exactly happened, but it happened over a period of time where, like Kevin, and I think like a number of you, you get this understanding that these beliefs we carry about, I'm not really confident to do that, or I wish I was like that type of person. It's a false belief because it comes from a false way of thinking. That's all it is. There's nothing scientific about this. And as I pondered what seemed to be stuck in my business life, and as I shifted into hypnotherapy and a different way of coaching, still frustrated because I was still trying to think my way through to be a good marketer, to be a good coach, to engage the sort of people I wanted to, because I was still sensing this lack. But once I saw, actually, we've all got it. It's a level playing field. Everyone on this call, we've all got it. What is it? We have access to wisdom. We've got incredible resources and assets within all of us that nobody has anything more than us, no matter how they may appear ostensibly in terms of finances or audience reach, how many programs they're doing online or whatever. And once I saw that, and that was accessible, and it was okay to be me, actually, that I didn't need to ape someone else's way of doing marketing or being present online. I suddenly had a massive realization. This is my truth. I've got my truth. Each and every one of you has your truth. No one else has that. That's something very powerful and unique. We've all got a calling in life, a mandate. Give it whatever name you want to. But it won't be realized as long as you're pursuing what other people are doing, or they are the yardstick of what you think success looks like, or what a flourishing business looks like for you. We have it all. And once I grasped that, that has not only helped me in terms of how now I present my business, but it's helped me immensely in my private life to realize that I just got so caught up in thinking about stuff. I entered 2025 with a marriage, with a lovely farmhouse in Cornwall. I exited 2025 with no marriage, no house, because things changed. And I could have gone through all sorts of bitter things, thinking, what's gone wrong? Thinking this and that. But I was able to navigate a very difficult year simply by realizing that much of my experience and what I could have made it, and sometimes I had low points, was simply a matter of me not living my truth, getting caught up in analytical thinking about what went wrong, what was this and that, living in the past, thinking too much of the future, not being really present. And to have this understanding that we've got it all. We don't need to fight the system. We're in this beautiful flow of life that the universe presents to us. And I could have fought so much. And maybe even you, as you're listening to this, there's an example coming up in your mind of something personal, something business, something you've had to overcome. At first, you really fought it, got nowhere. But then you just slip into an acceptance that actually the universe is benevolent. It's working out really good things for us. If we just jump into the river and let it take us where it wants to take us, in terms of our marketing, in terms of our advertising, in terms of the business things we put together, to stop this bullshit comparison with other people, which we fall into. We're trying to do our thing, but in someone else's truth. It'll never happen. It's just, if I could sum it in one word, it was striving for years to be sought after, to be noticed, to be visible. I don't do that anymore. None of us have to do that. There's a huge shift that can take place, and it doesn't take years. It can happen like that instantly, where we suddenly see our own worth, we see our own truth, and we do things our way, and it resonates with people. I'm not trying to find your audience. Come find mine if you want, but I have found that when I'm speaking from my truth, it resonates with certain people, my tribe, as it were. And you've all got your tribe out there. But it maybe you're just striving too hard. You're getting caught up in thinking and overthinking about how you should present yourself, your marketing. Am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? There is no right way. There's only one way, in a sense, is your way. And often you're in your own way, like I have been. But I'm in a new flow of life that I'm not trying to get you to think about what's Euan saying. I'm just trying to get you to feel the veracity, the authenticity of something I'm saying here that will resonate with you. And then perhaps you'll recognize, my God, yeah, I'm in my own way. I'm striving for an audience. I'm striving for success in life. It's because you're using someone else's template. You're overanalyzing this. I suppose Kev and myself have the philosophy we've shifted into. It's just to be in service. I don't go begging for clients. I have a mindset. I'm here to help as many as I can. I offer 75-minute to 90-minute conversations with people. Whatever your issues, let's have a talk. I'm not trying to be an agony aunt in the Sun newspaper, but all of us, everyone on this call, I know you're gifted individuals. You're caring, compassionate people. And we're all in service to a broken world. And that's the way I'm viewing business now. And you know what's happening? Business is different. It's light. There's not an urgency to it. There's not that tightness. If you're feeling that in your efforts to engage with clients, or perhaps just your partner, or in relationships with children or others, and there's that tightness there. Everything has to be done. It's an urgency, and it's a hard thing to labor under. I don't feel that now, just because I see things differently. There's been that shift, and there is that shift from getting out of my intellect and all that grinding of the gears that goes on, and just letting that fall away and believing that there is a feeling inside that if I can hear that and make space for that, my life will be different. And it has been. Business has shifted. I am finding those who resonate with me. And that resonate is a very important word. It talks about energy. There are people who will resonate with you. And that means it makes it easy for those who don't will fall away. Are you in service, or are you still striving to be in demand? Because what Kev and myself have seen is there's such an ease about this. It feels almost like I'm cheating. I don't know if Kev would consider. It feels effortless. It really does. It feels effortless. But because of that, it feels instinctively right. This is the way to do business. This is the way to help people transform their lives. None of us can help someone else transform. They've already got it. It's just an unveiling of what they need to see for themselves. So I just sum it up in this way, that don't try and analyze what I just said there. And I might not have said it in a way that it makes you think, well, he's not very impressive communicator. It doesn't matter. I don't really give a damn what anyone thinks. What I want you to get past is the thinking. It's just getting into the feeling of a truth that's just being communicated there. Because when we see these things and we get that shift like that, everything changes. Life goes on to a whole new level. And that's what's happened for me. Certainly in the last year, if I hadn't have had this, last year would have been very difficult for me. I still get low states of mind where I'm making comparisons with other people online, or I feel my confidence is knocked. Again, because it's coming out that sense of lack, what I don't have, what I wish I would have. I've got it all. And I don't mean that arrogantly. You have it all. Everything is possible because all possibilities lie within you. If we can just see that, and we see that by getting out of our intellect and what was the way we've always done things, and being open to some fresh revelation. The intellect's great. As Kev's already pointed out, we can do tasks with it and all sorts of things, but it's a static library. It's a recording of books that what was. The spirit, the wisdom is the internet. It's alive, it's organic, it's connected. That's what we're looking for in our business, because once we connect to that sort of source, we instantly know how to market. We instantly know the messaging. From something as crass as, making a YouTube video or a post or whatever, or finding our clients, it becomes effortless. I feel it does feel like it's cheating sometimes, but doesn't that feel instinctively right? That it should be natural, flowing, intuitive, not striving hard. If it's hard and it's urgent and it's tight, it's not right. I know that rhymed, but when it's light, it's right. It's expansive. All things seem possible. And this is the shift. And I think I speak rightly on behalf of Kev that we've seen in the Therapy Business Club as we've grown that. That was an idea we had. That's well over a six-figure business now. Think of that. That was just an idea. And Kev, I think you'll concur. Much of that has been effortless, hasn't it? I know I push back on you sometimes, but that's just my style. But we have found it a joy. We found it happy to build that. And we encourage each other in our coaching businesses, which is our own thing. But we've found this understanding of how to live from wisdom, the inner voice, rather than the intellect and the striving. It is the key. It is the secret, and the secret's out. And we've all got it. I hope that landed somewhere and you can feed into my words. Ignore me, just feed into what you felt was truth there. Kev.
I'm still laughing at your rhyme.
I can do better than that, but I'm not going to compare myself with Shakespeare.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And yeah, it does feel a bit like cheating. And what went through my mind when you were saying that was about it being effortless. I said, yeah, we're having fun. This is the point. We're having fun in what we're doing. And yeah, thanks for that. I'm going to share a story with you, and that is a realization, an insight. Because I had my biggest insight in 2025, around about August it was. I was at an event called Spoonfest. Now, don't laugh. Spoonfest is a real thing. It's a festival of greenwood spoon carvers. I mean, I'm making myself sound like Paulus the Wood Gnome now, if for anybody who's old enough to remember that. But I've been going to Spoonfest for, well, now that was my third year. So I'm not a Spoonfest virgin anymore. And I do understand that you're not supposed to use sandpaper to make your spoons nice and smooth. Apparently that's like the devil's work. But I found that out like the first year when somebody teased me about it. And I said, sandpaper. And everyone went, oh. Anyway, so I went to Spoonfest last year. And when I booked on, it's a 6-day event, but the first 3 days is called pre-fest. And you get to work with a teacher. And this year, the co-organizer of the event, which is about 11 years old, not he ain't 11 years old, the Spoonfest is 11 years old. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? What an achievement. His daughter was there, Jojo, and she has been carving spoons since she was like knee-high to a grasshopper, and she's very talented, and she does it in the community, and she helps underprivileged people and people with addictions and everything, using it as a therapeutic tool, which is amazing. And I thought, I'm going to get my name down and work with Jojo, which I did. So I've turned up on the first day of the pre-fest, and she said, right, I'm going to disappoint you all. And we're like, oh, great start. And there's 10 of us, and we're all sat around on hay bales in a circle. And we've got our knives and axes, and she said, I want you to carve a spoon before lunchtime, but don't get attached to it, because you're going to eat lunch with it, because lunch was soup, which was useful, but then you're going to cut it in half, right down the middle. And we're all like, what? The spoons, they're like sacred. And she went, no, and there's a purpose to it, so don't get attached to it. So we carved these spoons, and then we ate our dinner with it, and then we came back, and she went, well, this is the moment. And we started to have to pare away the spoon and cut it in half. And yeah, that was really sad to do that. But she said, I just want you to look at the profile and see if there's any way you could have improved it, because you only know by looking at the profile whether you could improve it. And we're like, Yeah, okay. So it could be, maybe it's a bit too strong around the neck and it could be a little bit more elegant or whatever, you know. So we all kind of looked at it and we kind of got it. And then she said, and now this afternoon, carve whatever you like and don't worry, you're not going to put it in the fire. And it's like, great. So we did that. And then the next morning, we got sat round and she said, right, we're going to do an experiment. And we're thinking, oh, not another one, please. And this experiment was, she said, right, there are 11 billets on the floor. Now, a billet is a slice of a kind of, I guess, a log. So take a log, greenwood log, split it into 4, then split it into, 8. And there was 11 pieces on the floor. And she said, I want you all to pick up a piece, and I'm going to have a piece as well, so there's 11 of us. And she said, and I want you to just put it on your block, get your axes ready, and you got 5 minutes, and you got to work on that billet for 5 minutes. So, and she said, and then I'm going to say, stop. And then I'm going to say, pass it to the next person on your left. And we're like, okay. And she said, and this is an exercise of non-attachment again. And we're like, okay, right, let's do it. So we set to, and we're all chopping away. Now, the guy next to me had all the gear and no idea because he kept self-deprecating. He goes, oh, this is never going to turn out right. It's going to be a mess. It's going to look like a dog's, ran in with a piece of wood and all this. And the guy on the other side of me said, this is the first time I've ever carved a spoon. My wife died this year and I just wanted to get away. I do joinery, but I've never worked with greenwood. I think I've got the right gear. And I'm thinking, I wonder what is going to happen today. Because there were all different skills. Now, bearing in mind, if I was to tell you that I've carved probably over 100 spoons and I can carve a spoon in a couple of hours, 3 hours, finished. Somebody who's carving a spoon for the first time, maybe all day, 6, 7 hours. Somebody who's done it for years, maybe an hour. Anyway, we had 5 minutes and then she said, right, pass it on again. So we're all chopping away with our axes, pass it. She said, right, by now we should be on with your knives. And like, there's loads of people still there with their axes, kind of like doing little finishing touches and everything, but it's going around in this circle. And after 10 goes, she said, right, stop. You haven't got the piece of wood that you started with. You wouldn't recognise it anyway. But I want you to look at what's in front of you. So we all kind of looked at what is in front and said, yeah, it's pretty good actually. Yeah, I quite like that. She goes, right, I think we'll give it 2 more goes. So that'll be 1 hour of work. So off we went again. Now we've all got our knives. And one lady said, who is it who keeps finishing all these spoons with a pointed bowl? That's ridiculous. You can't have a pointed. She was very outspoken. I think she was Dutch. So we were laughing to ourselves, and it was sort of going around this. And I kept getting spoons that are coming to me that had really thick handles. And I'm like, that's so ugly. It's like you're holding a bat in your hand, So I kept paring it off a little bit more and everything. And anyway, we stopped on 12 goes round. So that was 1 hour. She goes, right, what I want you to do now is I want you to take the spoon that's in front of you and put it on the floor. And I want you all to stand up and just look down at what you created. And what I looked down and what I'd created was that in front of me. A finished wooden spoon. And I was pretty pleased with that. I mean, obviously I'd co-created it because everyone else had had a go at it. But what I was looking at in front of me was 11 of those like that in an hour. And she said, okay, great work. That was an exercise in non-attachment. She goes, you weren't attached to the outcome. That means you just got on with the job. And there you go. And this afternoon we're going to be doing something different. Now, if you bear in mind that if you took the average of all those people and how long it would take to carve a spoon, if you had all those people together, if they all started with 1 billet each and didn't pass it on, you're going to be looking at 35, 40, 50 hours of work with all that. We did it in a combination of 11 hours. So I'm like thinking this is 3 to 4 times more efficient. I mean, if you was doing a production run and you was running a business, you'd have everybody doing 5 minutes each, wouldn't you? Because how efficient is that? So I'm walking back, feeling really proud of my spoon. I'm walking back to my tent, because it's a camping event as well. And it hit me like a bolt of lightning. And I'm like, holy shit. I wasn't thinking. I wasn't comparing. I wasn't judging. I wasn't stuck in any of those mental traps while I was creating that 5 minutes of spoon and that 5 minutes of spoon and that 5 minutes of spoon. I was just getting on. I was in the flow. Everybody was in the flow. Which means, and the realization I had was, I've come to this conclusion, it was a bit harsh. Thinking's redundant. Thinking is a very redundant act. What a waste of time we'd have all spent if we were all just given a billet and said, right, make a spoon. And then she's kind of like looking at her watch going, okay, you've had 6 hours now. Is somebody on with the second spoon yet? You know, but if you was to add all that time together, all of that redundant time, and it was a massive lesson because you don't have to have 11 people in a circle to appreciate that. You can appreciate that moment to moment because you can ask yourself, just how much redundant thinking am I applying right now? And I just went and sat on my camp bed, well, laid on my camp bed, and I just laid there and I just thought, that was amazing. That was just an incredible experience. And I was in a bit of a daze for the rest of the day. You know, and the thing is when you're carving a spoon is that you use razor sharp knives and razor sharp axes, not the axe that'll split logs. I'm talking about an axe that I could shave with. That's how sharp they are. So you don't have any time for getting, you know, thinking about something else, daydreaming, because, oh, there goes my thumb. You know what I mean? You've got to be really focused on what you're doing. But what a great lesson for life and for the way that we approach every day is that there's a redundancy of thinking that really isn't helping us in any way. It's a waste. And yeah, it was a huge realization, and it felt really, really powerful. And as you can tell, I was quite moved, and I'm, you know, really proud of my spoon, but more so going there and having that realization of a really practical example of the redundancy of thinking. So yeah, that's my my little share there as an example, a real life example, and I've got all my fingers still, which is cool. Euan.
I love that. I went to a woodcraft day last week I told Kev about, and they said, you know, they went around, what do you want to get out of this day? I said, I just want to go home with all 10 fingers. So those knives are sharp. But that's a good example. Getting out of our own thinking. My God. Yeah. I wonder if there was one word you could use to describe what it is you might be feeling at this stage of this call. Just to put it in the chat. Not a sentence, not a story, but if something resonates with you and you're in the moment and you're not thinking, you're just feeling something. What's that one word that might sum up? Me, it's glasses. Right, hang on. Relaxed, Sheila. That's nice. Grounded, calm. Yeah. Self-forgiveness. Jan, wow. Reminded. Is that reminded of something there, Louise, or reminded that
Reminded that thinking is redundant.
oh.
I'm like, oh yes, that old chestnut again.
And I was thinking like rewilded is to put back the wild into what was. I was thinking reminded, is that a content?
Oh yeah, that's very apt. Yeah, that is very apt because I'm into nature in a big way. But yeah, no, reminded is definitely reminded. Oh yeah, yeah. It's easy to forget sometimes, so it's easy to remember now.
Thank you, Luz. That's great. Yeah, thinking is overrated, isn't it? It's necessary for certain things, but certainly to get in direction for our lives and businesses, it's not going to help us because it's based on what was. Dismayed. I'm sorry to hear. Truth and introspection. Dismayed. Okay. Something we've said. Dismayed. Okay. Being dismayed again is whatever the cause of that is. It's like anxiety and stress. It's a thought, isn't it? Dismaying thoughts produce a sense of being dismayed. I don't know what the content of that is, of course.
And it can be a signpost as well, can't it? It can be a signpost to where our thinking is in the moment. Yeah.
Very good. Like fearful, that Sharon puts there, fearful. Yeah. It feels real and tangible in the moment, doesn't it? But it is, it's like a dashboard light that comes up on your car. It may have some meaning, but it's just, what does it mean? I'm feeling fearful. I'm thinking something fearful right now. What is that? You can work out what that is. It's not an actual full-time state, is it? Because sometimes we're not fearful. But it's nothing external. But okay, those are reflective words. Thank you. What Kev would like to do now is sort of like a guided visualization, I suppose now, Kev, isn't it? To experience what we're talking about here, that to be in the feeling, not the thinking of what we've shared, but to be in the feeling of what we've shared.
If everyone is up for that, it's about 8 minutes. And then we'll be just about on time, I think, Sheila. Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Well, with your permission, I would like you to find a comfortable position and to close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths and relax your body and your mind. And I want you to imagine a vast and boundless sky that stretches in every direction. And this sky, this clear, infinite sky, represents your awareness, your capacity to perceive and connect with all that exists. Feel the vastness of that sky and know that this same expansive awareness is within you, allowing you to experience life in its fullness. As you breathe deeply, let each breath draw more of this clear, calming energy into you. And with every exhale, feel lighter, as if unnecessary thoughts are floating away, making the sky within you clearer and brighter. This clear sky is your awareness in its purest form. It's open, it's tranquil, and it's infinitely perceptive. Now, as you are connected to this sense of boundless sky, begin to notice the sunrise there on the horizon. It's on the horizon of your vast sky, and the sun's golden light slowly spreads across the sky, illuminating everything with their gentle, gentle golden warmth. This sunlight represents your mind. It represents love. It's what drives your thoughts and feelings and deep connections, just as the sunlight lets you see the colours of this world. Feel how the sunlight brings clarity and warmth. As your mind and love illuminate your inner world, observe how you become aware of your thoughts and feelings and sensations, like the landscape that comes alive with the morning light. Your inner experiences become more vivid and understandable under the light of mind and love. And with the gentle light of your mind and love illuminating your inner sky, begin to notice the clouds gradually forming. These clouds represent your thoughts. They float across the vast expanse of your awareness. Sometimes they're light and wispy, and other times they're dense and stormy, and each cloud shapes the view of the sky, your perceived reality. So watch how these clouds drift through your sky. They change shape and size, and they come and they go, influenced by the winds of your mind's focus and emotion. And understand that just like the clouds that do no harm or permanently mark the sky, your thoughts do not define or damage your true self. They're temporary, passing with time and shifting with perspective. So continue observing the clouds in your sky, now focusing on how they affect the light of the sun, your mind and love. Notice how those dark, heavy clouds can temporarily dim the sunlight, making your inner world seem darker. And this is how negative or stressful thoughts can affect your mood and perception. Feel how different thoughts, like different clouds, change how you feel. When your thoughts are light and positive, your inner world feels bright and clear. And conversely, when your thoughts are heavy and negative, everything seems more challenging and sombre. Recognise that your feelings are direct reflections of the quality of your thoughts at any moment. They serve as indicators, guiding you to understand which thoughts bring peace and which bring turmoil. And as you become more aware now of how your thoughts influence your feelings, you will learn to navigate through them more effectively using this insight to guide your mental and emotional well-being. This awareness is crucial as we continue to explore deeper into the nature of thoughts and their impact upon us. As you continue to watch the clouds, your thoughts move through your sky, start to pay close attention on how each type of cloud or thought makes you feel. Notice the light, fluffy clouds that make your inner sky seem brighter and more expansive. These are your positive, uplifting thoughts, typically leading to feelings of happiness and peace. Now, observe those dark, heavy clouds that overshadow your sky, representing negative or stressful thoughts. These bring feelings of sadness, anxiety, or unrest. Acknowledge that your feelings act as a barometer of your thought patterns, just as a weather barometer measures atmospheric pressure and predicts changes in the weather. Your feelings measure the pressure of your thoughts and predict your emotions' well-being. By tuning into your feelings, you gain insight into the nature of your thoughts. If your feelings are heavy and uncomfortable, it might be a sign to shift your focus and allow some thoughts to pass or change. So imagine now that you can control the winds of your sky. With a deep, calming breath, you blow gently at the heavy clouds and watch as your breath begins to disperse these clouds, breaking them up and gradually clearing your sky. Each exhale sends a gentle breeze across the inner landscape, lightening your thoughts and in turn easing your feelings. As you continue this exercise, feel empowered by your ability to influence your own mind. Realise that negative thoughts are within your control to manage and dissipate. This ability is not forceful, but gentle and steady, like the soothing wind created by your breath. Each mindful breath reaffirms your capacity to return to a state of clarity and calm, demonstrating that while you may not control the formation of every thought, you can influence how long and how strongly they impact upon you. And through this practice, you cultivate a profound skill in managing your mental environment, which is essential for maintaining your peace and well-being. And this prepares us to further explore the reconnection with our innate well-being. Because with your sky now clearer from the dispersing of heavy clouds, allow yourself to feel the lightness and space created within. This space is not empty, but filled with your innate well-being, a state of natural peace and contentment that is always present beneath the transient thoughts. Visualize this well-being as a warm, glowing light at the center of your sky, shining steadily like the sun. Focus on the warm glow, feeling its steady, calming presence. This is your essence, your true self, untouched by passing thoughts or external circumstances. It's a source of infinite peace and wisdom. And as you connect with this light, notice how it naturally expands, filling your entire being with a sense of completeness and tranquility. And continue to observe your inner sky, now more aware of the fleeting nature of clouds or thoughts. Understand that just as clouds form, shift and dissolve in the sky, so too do your thoughts come and go. They're impermanent and not an intrinsic part of who you are. Embrace this realization and allow it to bring you peace. And when you understand there is no thought that's permanent, you gain the freedom to experience them without attachment or distress. Feel how this understanding helps you remain connected to your core of well-being, no matter the thoughts that may pass. As we conclude this guided visualization, make a gentle commitment to carry these insights in your daily life, and remember the clear blue sky, your inner light of well-being, and the transient nature of thoughts. And set an intention to regularly practice observing your thoughts as mere clouds in the vast sky of your awareness. Decide to connect with your innate well-being daily, allowing it to guide you towards more peace and clarity. And when you're ready, slowly bring your attention back to the present moment, opening your eyes, taking in the surroundings with a renewed sense of calm and mastery over your inner landscape, and keep these images and feelings with you as reminders of your ability to navigate thoughts and emotions with grace and with awareness. And welcome back. Well, what we've shared with you today, what I guess we've kind of embodied very much in the way that we navigate our business and live our lives, is very much what we'd love to share with you on our retreat in April in Albia in Spain. And what I'm going to do is pop the link to that in the chat right now. Though if you go to Sheila's website, sheilamasan.com, you'll also find a link to it there as well. And I'd like to say thank you for coming along and spending this time with us, and and being a part of this and taking part in it as well, because it's an absolute joy. And we've got more in store for Albia, as well as plenty of fun as well, because we don't take life too serious, Euan and I. In fact, while we're there, we decided, and I don't know, I meant to ask you about this before, Sheila, but what we'd like to do while we're in Albia is to do some kind of like extra activities in between the sessions. So when people kind of like have an opportunity to have the afternoon off, if somebody wanted to not go and do that, or they're travelling on their own, then I had an idea that I'll teach people some magic and mentalism, because that's a lovely way of demonstrating the three principles and the illusionary nature of thought. I do this often with my local village hall class, and also helping people to get comfortable being uncomfortable on camera as well, and just being their natural selves. Because when I do videos, I usually do it with my phone, walking in the countryside, talking into my phone, and it tends to be well received. That's because I'm just being me. There's no props, there's no script. I'm just speaking from what I know and sharing that, and I find it to be quite effective, and I have great fun doing it. It's just that it's usually bloody windy where I go, so it's hard to get it perfect. But so that's what I've got to share on that. Euan, anything else you want to add?
I'm thinking, what can I add now? What can I do to outbeat Kev on that offer?
You can teach them 4 languages.
I'll teach you some languages, in the moment we have, it's where I met Sheila actually for the first time, and in fact Kev was on such a retreat in Albia. It was a game changer for me. I shifted so much, and I still have, Sheila, by the way, the bottle from the bar at the hotel. I don't know if it's toxic plastic or not, but I've still got it. I'm going to hold on to this. It's just a great group of people. Just to get away out of your normal environment is its own medicine. But then to have this infusion of spiritual life as well, to do with the stuff that Kev just mentioned, recreation, the sea. I don't know. It will shift everything. There's still an early bird discount in place, isn't there, Sheila, till the end of February, something like that. So all the details. I'm not selling. We don't sell. We're in service. This is all about being in service to whoever's there, and to make it a very memorable time that we believe will give you a shift, not just in thinking, but in the whole way you do life from there on. It's a bold claim, but it will be delivered. That's all I've got to say on that.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Sheila, for providing this tonight environment.
No, thank you both. It's been a really lovely hour. As I said, I felt very relaxed. So yeah, thank you. She said it's not about what you're saying, it's about the feeling that's bubbling up from within us. That's the most important thing. And I noticed that. Yeah. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your evening and rest of the week, and we'll see you soon. We're going to be doing a kind of weekly thing like this now as a little bit of an event. Next week, Euan's going to do one at about 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, not about 7 o'clock, at 7 o'clock next Wednesday, and we'll be posting that on our own profiles and on the different groups that we're in. And we'll share that link with you as well, Sheila, so you can share it with your audience as well. And we're going to be similar tonight. We're going to be sharing different experiences as well, and keep it going, because we're enjoying this. We're in the flow. Yeah.
Beautiful. Look forward to the magic and mentalism. And maybe the four languages, you, and I've no idea which four languages you speak.
Well, you'll have to be there to find out. Yeah. Not Spanish. It won't be Spanish, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, maybe it's Chinese, is it? That would be good.
So
Mandarin.
Mandarin. I only know 2 words. It's sweet and sour. Number 44 on the menu at the Golden Duck. It's number 44. That's all you need to know. Right. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate you.
All right. Take care.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.